Hi everyone, this is Sunette, and in this soul video, we're going to have a look at the mirror process. What is the mirror process? Now, we tend to look at ourselves in any mirror, and what tends to emerge within us or even trigger within us is not so let's call it self-complimentary thoughts and inner dialogue, and also very uncomfortable emotions in relation to how we tend to react to what we see based on the influence, knowledge, information, competition, comparison, judgment, and so much more that so many of us have been exposed to throughout our lives, in many different ways. And it's interesting because in having a look at my story within this is, there was a time that constantly only look at the mirror, and what would come up is just all this information, all this data that I've collected throughout my life. And it comes to that point where you look in the mirror and you wonder, but what am I actually really looking at? Am I really looking at myself? Am I even really looking at my body? Or has this moment actually sort of become a deliberate self-sabotage moment where I re-access all that information, all that data, recycle in my self-judgment, my insecurities, being self-conscious, feeling inferior, having social anxiety, constantly comparing myself, not ever feeling good enough or right enough or the best enough, always finding something wrong every single time, or what I have found wrong in the past flares up and now it looks really bad. Everyone is familiar with that little pimple that's showing on your face, but inside your mind it looks like this massive boil coming out on the side of your cheek. And it was so shocking, as I assisted and supported myself through this process, that I would see similar pimples and I look at them like, what the hell did I do to myself? It's really quite eye-opening and empowering, liberating, but also challenging when you start realizing the extent to which you can project, what's actually going on in your head onto reality, like something as simple as a mirror. Now, initially, I tried to, when realizing this, that the mirror has not become anymore me wanting to look how I am dressing or how I'm wearing these clothes and is it sitting right and, is my face clean? It was really self-honestly a point where I could continuously compare myself and judge myself. So obviously I tried everything. I tried placing cloth over the mirror, never looking at myself full length in any way. Because you already know you only have to look at yourself once when wearing clothes, not every single time, and really fine comb every single detail of you. Because the other thing I had against me was the perfectionism programming that was like a double whammy for me, because then everything had to be perfect and in place. But then the moment you walk outside in nature and you've got wind blowing and it ruins everything, your clothes, your hair, even makeup, because you had to unexpectedly use your hand to rub your eye, or, for men, some random gust of wind coming with dust and then you're full of dust. And now you're getting angry at weather and the natural environment. Not even realizing you're enjoying the wind, really taking in the environment and the weather and the smells and what it's bringing to mankind and earth. But within that, I tried throwing cloth over mirrors, not to look at myself in the mirror, the no mirror challenge. To some extent, it did work. It broke that pattern of me not having to go to the mirror every single morning or every opportunity that I get. And it was quite crazy at the time. Then I tried avoiding the mirror. But, like just staying away from it and only ever looking at my face or the practical things that I need. And I quickly go in, check once, quickly go out. Okay. Just to make sure everything's in place. Here, taking into consideration the professional environment, in the corporate world or the business world when you're working. So it supported me somewhat, but again, I made the problem or the issue the mirror. I subconsciously in my actions did that, and thinking if I change the mirror, I'll change myself. And it was only until I dropped everything, because you can't avoid mirrors your whole life. And did I realize, look, I can't live my life like this. This is not a solution, because so far it's been quite some time and still I'm trying to avoid mirrors or put something over them, or still trying to run away from what's coming up inside of me every time I look in the mirror. And plus, what was the worst was because I wasn't looking at the mirror, I kept on fretting about how I was looking and reacting to it. And then I'm sitting there imagining how I could possibly be looking. Then I go into fears and worries and concerns of what could be wrong and what is everyone else going to think. And oh my goodness, this whole problem just morphed into something that never existed in me before. So here with the following solution that assisted and supported me in utilizing the tools of soul with defining, redefining, and living words, I had a look into the word mirror, and not in the externalized mirror that I see my face in or my entire physique or reflection, the mirror of me. What am I reflecting of who I am inside myself when I'm standing in front of the mirror? I mean, a mirror is for reflecting. A mirror is for, seeing directly into yourself as is. That's what a mirror does. Except for, when you have those special kind of mirrors that can make you look better, or, kind of warps reality just a little bit. I'm not speaking of those. I mean the real, direct, pure, original mirrors that show it to you as it is. And what mirror and reflecting would mean within myself. What is my inner mirror? What is my inner self-reflection? So I utilized the mirror as a practical tool where every time I'd stand in front of the mirror, I would look into it, see what comes up in me, realize, okay, my mirror of me inside myself that's reflecting ain't looking good here. I don't want to keep on living as a person who judges themselves, who always finds something wrong, who constantly compares, who can never be good enough. And in addition, I would look at, but if I'm keeping on doing this to myself, inside the mirror of me, my self-reflection, and the mirror without, I am rehashing the same experiences inside myself over and over and over again. I mean, no wonder when I come into social situations, I immediately compare and go into insecurity and inferiority and then judge myself. Or, whenever I do a task and complete something in any area, I feel like it's never good enough because there I am doing the exact same to myself when I'm alone with myself in front of a mirror. And we take that moment out there into the world, and that's what we live. Who we are is what we live. Who we are is what we create. So in this video, what I would like everyone to do is have a look at redefining the word mirror for yourself. And even if you think I don't have an issue with mirrors, even those little side mirrors, where when you're driving in the car, sneaky, or, on the side just to do like a quick check, is everything good? I mean, we all play. It's like our own little, moment of comedy. But at the same time, we make it so serious, where we check how everything's looking. But at the same time, if you're honest, you'll catch it where there's a judgment or a reaction or something wrong or bad or not good enough coming up. It's those things that I want everyone to catch, like almost like freeze in your mind, look at it and go, hey, I see you. I'm not going to end this moment of looking at myself in the mirror in this reaction. I'm going to look again, look directly in my eyes. Everything on a physical level is in proportion, all good to go, great, drive. But primarily, that's more, moments that you can practice in your everyday life so long in the meantime until we get to the redefining and living. But to first get to know what your current mirror looks like. I mean, a nice practical, physical way to do it is in the main mirror in your house that you use the most, where you find you react to, no matter how much or how little. Do little post-its on it. What in your head comes up every time you look in the mirror? There you'll start seeing the reality of who I am accepting and allowing myself to be. This is what you're reflecting inside yourself. This is what you're mirroring and reflecting in your world. Then, in the next video, we'll start redefining and living and changing those little post-its, and so yourself, post-it by post-it, moment by moment. Thank you very much, everyone.